going on, everyone? So one of the big names that has been kind of circulating for the Lakers is Jerami Grant of the Portland Trail Blazers. Based on reports, the Portland Trail Blazers want 2 firsts for Jerami Grant, but the Lakers are reluctant to give up both firsts for Grant. Look, Grant is a piece that would make a ton of sense for the Lakers. A legit 3-and-D wing, got good size, can play both forward spots, defend essentially 1 through 4 for you. He's a guy that shoots 40+% from three-point range. He's a guy that can put the ball on the deck, get to the basket, shoot the mid-range. Guy that will get you 20+ a night. He would immediately be our 3rd best player on the Lakers if the Lakers were able to acquire him. Concerns are just like he's a little overpaid, not like greatly, right, but a little overpaid. And the idea is that, okay, if the Lakers can get, say, a Jerami Grant then that's where the Lakers could potentially get back into that conversation for contention status. Lakers want to make trades. The Lakers are trying to explore various options. I mean, every day there's a new name in the trade market for the Lakers, which is good, right? Because the more names that keep popping up, the more likely it is that the Lakers get somebody later on down the line. But it's also super early in the process. A lot of time between now and October. A lot of time between now and training camp. And you see it every year. Early on, the asking price is we want 4 firsts and your firstborn child. And then eventually, 2 months in, it's like, all right, we'll take just the 2 firsts. And then eventually you get to training camp. It's like, we don't want this guy on the roster come training camp. Fine, we'll do just 1 first. But there is a headline going around that says that the Lakers aren't willing to trade any first for Jerami Grant. It was shared by Sam Amico, and it was actually Sean Devaney who is the one that reported this information. So I want to read what it says. So according to the report, according to NBA insider Sean Devaney of The Heavy Sports, the Los Angeles Lakers are interested in trading for Portland Trail Blazers forward Jerami Grant. However, the Lakers don't want to trade a first-round pick for Grant. The Lakers can trade 2 future first-round picks in 2029, 2031, but would not give up either for Grant, Devaney wrote. The Blazers, the approach is they're trading a star and want both picks. Perhaps as the summer wears on, the Blazers will have no choice but to recognize that. Also, it is later added that they are stubborn, an NBA exec told Devaney about the Blazers. Part of the job is to be stubborn, though. But part of the job is also seeing your mistakes and getting out of them. Grant was a mistake. Trading him now just to get out of that salary is the right thing to do. Take whatever picks or young guys you can get. So again, this is the report. This is what it said. Phrasing it as if they won't trade any first. But it even talks about how, Shams talks about how, Lakers are willing to trade. They just don't want to give up both first. So again, what is it? Is it that the Lakers are not willing to trade any first for Jerami Grant? Or is it that the Lakers don't want to trade both first for Jerami Grant? Because again, it says that they won't trade either pick, but that the Blazers are asking for 2 firsts, right? But all the reports have said, leading up to this point, that the Lakers don't want to trade both firsts for Jerami Grant. They are willing to give up a first, but but the Blazers are not relenting on giving up or trading both firsts. Like they want both firsts. But again, it's early in the process. And Devaney later reports that more likely than not, the Blazers are going to drop their price. Other executives in the league, I don't believe that it's a Laker executive because that would kind of muddy the water. But other teams have touched base and tried to talk in potentially trading for Jerami Grant. It just, again, it's kind of portrayed as like the Lakers don't want to give any first for Grant. Now, maybe that's the case. Maybe the Lakers are like, hey, we're not going to give you a first for Jerami Grant because he's overpaid and because based on the talks, again, you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, right? You only know what is being presented on the surface through these reports, right? But it seems like the Blazers want both Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt for Jerami Grant. So if that's the case, maybe the Lakers are like, hey, we'll trade you both Rui and Jared Vanderbilt, but we're not going to give you a first for that, right? Like we'll give you a first and a Rui plus, Or we'll give you, a Vando plus and a first. But if you want both Rui and Vando and 2 firsts or a first period, then no, right? We're not willing to give you that. And we'll see. I mean, it really boils down to how far are the Blazers willing to drop. Now, the Blazers don't want to take Jerami Grant into training camp. They don't want him to start the season. That doesn't mean, though, that they have to trade him. Just because they want to move off of him and they don't necessarily want to bring him in to start the season doesn't mean that they are in a position where it's like, we have to trade Jerami Grant by all costs, by all means. Like Chicago right now is desperate to trade Zach LaVine, right? Portland isn't necessarily desperate. They just really want to get off of Jerami Grant because it frees up opportunities for the young guys. It frees up the possibility of winning more games, right? Because they're trying to, tank for Cooper Flagg. They get off of his salary, all of those things, right? Like there are several factors that benefit the Blazers based on the direction that they're going if they're able to move off of Jerami Grant and in his contract. But they're not in a position where they absolutely have to move off of them. But eventually they're going to drop to an extent. Now, will they drop to where it's like 4 seconds instead of a first? Maybe not, right? More likely than not, it's probably going to have to be a first, but maybe they'll take a pick swap in a couple seconds or something. Like maybe Lakers don't, maybe it doesn't have to necessarily be a first, or maybe it's the protections. Because you gotta keep in mind, maybe Portland right now is asking for unprotected first. Maybe the Lakers are like, hey, we're willing to give you a first, but we want, top 5 protected. And Portland's like, absolutely not. No way, right? Again, we don't know every little detail of what Portland is asking for, right? But using like the Utah Jazz several years ago, right? At this point now, year and a half ago, right? At the trade deadline. This time that year, it was, we want, both your first unprotected. We want, you have 4, I think, or 5 seconds, I think they had to trade. We want all 5 seconds, right? We want, basically everything. We want the farm for a trade. Oh, and you don't get Jared Vanderbilt. And then you got to close to training camp, and then Utah's price went from that to like, okay, just give us the 2 first. Oh, no, you still don't want, okay, well, tell you what, give us both first, 1 unprotected, 1 protected, right? The price just kept dropping lower and lower and lower and lower. And then eventually you get to the trade deadline, and it was 1 protected first. Oh, yeah, and we got Jared Vanderbilt. Oh, yeah, and instead of Mike Conley, we got D'Angelo Russell. Right? So a lot changes over that. Everyone, it's part of negotiations, part of the process, right? I mean, even it says in the report that it's one of those things where, it's your job to be stubborn, right? It's basically 2 Rams going head to head. Which one relents? Which one goes, okay, fine. Which one wants it more? But these are the reasons why I'm glad that, every day there seems to be a new name that the Lakers are linked to, because the more options there are, the more opportunities the Lakers have to get a guy or two, and the more likely it is that somebody is going to drop their price. Because there were several teams that wanted Jerami Grant. Half of those teams have already made the decision. Half of the teams have already phased themselves out. And that's only going to continue as we progress. So, yes, Portland's at a point right now where they're like, okay, we still have like 3 months. Like, let's be patient. Maybe a team, makes a move or kind of, goes, let's just make a push for Jerami Grant because they miss out on somebody else or whatever, right? Like, there's so many conversations going on behind the scenes. This is a Laker channel, so I'm covering the Lakers side of things. But this stuff is going on with all the teams, all the organizations, right? So, to me, it's just patience is everything. Which team can remain the patient the longest, and which team eventually relents. And, look, if you can get Jerami Grant for a first, I think you do that, right? Like, I think you do that all day. But if it's 2 firsts, then no, he's not worth 2 firsts. Like, he's a very good player, but there's definitely concerns about him buying in, his commitment to winning, right? He has said in the past that basically that he didn't want to play with LeBron and AD. He said that he didn't want to be a third option, but but that was also, to be fair, that was also like 4 or 5 years ago now. There's a big difference between, then and now. People mature, people grow, people get to different points in their careers. He might be looking at it now where it's like, man, I'm making the money that I always wanted to make. I get an opportunity to maybe be a big piece and contend for a championship, right? Like, guys change their outlook, right? When he was 25, 24, 25, he probably didn't want it. He's probably like, dude, I'm the best player in the league, right? Like, but then eventually you progress year after year after year, and you realize, like, okay, like, I would like to look at that ring on my hand. I would like to, be able to celebrate and hoist the trophy, right? Like, at some point, you see a lot of players kind of come around. So to me, it's like, if you can get them for the right price, I think you do it, right? But at the end of the day, you do have other options. Cam Johnson, right? Cam Johnson and the Nets are kind of in the same boat. They want to get off of Cam Johnson. So to me, it's like, which one of those two break first, right? Do the Blazers cave and go, okay, fine, we'll give you Jerami Grant, and you don't have to give us a first, or maybe you only give us one first. And you look at the other side, and it's like, okay, the Nets are like, hey, tell you what, give us 3 seconds for him. Cool, now you go get him. Maybe both relent, and you can end up getting both. And I mean, look, even if the Lakers are reluctant to trade one first right now, that doesn't mean that they won't later, right? Even if the Lakers do kind of are like, hey, we don't necessarily want to trade any first. Again, that report, maybe it's just the way I'm receiving it, but the way that report sounds is that, like, Portland wants 2 firsts and the Lakers don't want to trade 2 firsts, right? But it's being presented as like they don't want to trade any firsts. But we have other reports that say that they will trade a first for him, just not 2, right? So to me, but again, maybe the Lakers are like, hey, no, we don't want to give up any first for him. And then, just like you're hoping Portland drops, the Lakers come up and you meet in the middle, and it's like 1 first, right? Or maybe it's a protected first or whatever. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you kind of see it the same way I do? Do you think, like, yeah, this is clearly, like, the Lakers just don't want to trade 2 firsts, right? Or do you look at it as like, no, Lakers don't want to trade any first? Again, I read the report, and you read the entire report. Obviously, I'm just reading, like, the skips. Take a look at the report and tell me if you feel the same way. Because I took that as like, no, it's not that they don't want to trade any first. It's that they only want to trade 1 first. But again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.